We talked about last week being able to find it, how you're going to find it, and how to underwrite it. But the real work comes in actually funding it and then stabilizing it. Once you actually have this thing bought, that's where you got to roll your sleeves up, or your operator does for sure. Not many of us have money just sitting over on the side at $1 million plus in a bank. Most folks don't stay that liquid. So you got to figure out, how are you going to actually purchase $1 million plus business? You can get as creative as you want. There's zero regulation that says how you have to pay. You just need to work the terms out, and it needs to be agreeable on both sides of the table, the buyer and the purchaser. So big pieces of equipment, vehicles, real estate. Those are the top three things that I could think about that are assets you can put debt on, again, with a bank. I already mentioned a community bank. I mentioned the SBA loan, and you reach out to your banking systems and they will talk to you about the SBA process. Private money loans, individuals like me and Kevin. There's 3 different reasons to bring a partner in. One's got the skill, one's got the money, one's got the time. And so if someone's got the money, they can come in as an equity partner, and they might also have skills, so they can sit there and bring 2 different levels of that trilogy when it comes to considering partners. And, me and Kevin partner up on deals, and we both have money. The bank is not in the business of running other businesses, just like they're not in the business of being a landlord. They're in the business of loaning money and getting a return on that money, because they expect the person that's making deposits to get a certain rate, and then they go lend it out for a higher rate, and they arbitrage the difference. Business is nothing but a bunch of systems put in place so that it can be repeated no matter who is doing and operating inside of that system. You got to make sure that your culture is performance driven. So look and see how your people are compensated inside these companies, your current companies right now that you're running. What is your compensation structure? Is there a reason for your people to go out and perform their best efforts every single day? Like I said before, you got a process for everything. And then more importantly, make sure that you have accountability checkpoints. Data, not drama. Make sure that they know what is expected of them and they can clearly see their efforts transparently. We talked about end of day reports before, Kevin.
If you do an asset sale and you have to start a new entity, that means you have to apply for a new contractor's license, which means that the really old number, let's say it's like a 20-year-old license, that old number goes away and you have to get a brand new number. So when people go to look up your license number, they'll see that you've only been in business, 6 months or a couple months or whatever. So how do we buy a business, keep the old license and entity, but protect ourselves from the liability?
And if something took place and there was a class action lawsuit, I was scared to death that could come back to us and we would be pulled into it. So I didn't have a situation like yours, but I said, we're doing an asset sale. I'm not doing a stock sale in this situation because I don't want that liability.
You kind of paint them into a corner, right? If they make a big deal about that, they're kind of admitting to you that there are some skeletons that they're worried about.
You should start getting information without pulling your credit, without giving them stuff, and then seeing, hey, I think likely these 3 banks would work with me based on what I did and the calls I just did today. And then you can start lining that stuff up, because opportunities come around and sometimes it's too late to do it later. You don't have enough time.
You don't have to have money. You just need to know where the deal's at. You need to know where's the money at. And then you can be the conduit to get the money to the deal and the deal to the money, and you can get a piece. You will walk with more confidence when you feel like you have liquidity available, regardless if it's sitting in your savings account, if it's coming in daily from your business, or if it's a line of credit at a bank or a credit card.
I've got a question in regards to financing or getting lines of credit. For seasonal businesses, for example, I have an exterior cleaning business and I have a line of credit, but they didn't ask for any documentation because it's on the lower end. But if I were to ask for an increase on that loan credit, it would ask for some documentation. Now, does it make sense to ask for that when the numbers look good?
I just financed my van through, I guess they ran it as kind of a small business thing through Huntington Bank. The first payment is coming up on like the 26th. Would it be a good time when I'm setting up all that payment structure to talk about like lines of credit in the future, what they would need to see now, kind of digging the well early? Or is that a bad time to make that conversation? So they're like, you're already asking about more money when you already owe us this for the van, trying to present that properly.
What we do is interesting. Our jobs, if you're a power washer, gutter cleaning, that's not interesting. But being an entrepreneur, buying other businesses, scaling, all these W-2 people, they really want to be us. They just didn't do it.